thought we'd do it on the avenue.
Waas Sappening.
Orale, we're here. I'm hosting this week. Timmy's not here, or he's hiding under the desk somewhere. Anyways, we brought in little Chris this week.
And right on. Finally, I'm getting paid too. So
Nice. And of course, I got my sidekicks.
What's
The
crapping in?
son-in-law named Jeff.
Son-in-law named Jeff.
And you got me, George. Hey, we got some guests today. James.
So I'm James Jr.
Uh-huh.
I go
JJ.
by J. Rivas Jr.
Right on.
And of course, this guy, Manic Hispanic.
Yep, that's me.
Pops. Yeah.
That's right.
Manic the Hispanic.
Manic Hispanic. Yep.
Manic Hispanic.
Yep.
Thanks for having us, guys. So,
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
for
coming
coming.
through, man, and thanks for putting up with our little shenanigans right here in the beginning of this program. You know, our engineer once again dropped the ball, and you had to call him up. Look, he's throwing up gang signs over there at me. Anyways, hey, thanks, guys. Hey, real quick, let me see, little Chris. You haven't been around for a little while. What's been going on with you?
A whole lot and a whole lot of nothing. You know what I mean? Just living life, doing my thing, going here, going there, working.
Low riding.
Low riding. I've been low riding a lot. Yeah.
You were down and out last week.
Jeez, I don't really want to talk about
All
it,
right,
but
don't
you know
talk
what? I
about it.
will. You know what? Because so, yeah, down and out last week. I had a kidney stone.
Ooh.
No fun.
Anybody ever had that?
Oh,
I think my pops
four of
knows a
them.
little bit
Oh,
about
there
that.
you go.
Yeah.
See,
Had
Well-
4 of them.
Explain that pain.
It's tell you what, you know, I the first time I ever got a kidney stone was I was flying. I was flying to Phoenix from Houston, and it was just really uncomfortable. I was like,
It's
So-
more than uncomfortable, bro. You
Yeah.
know that.
it was
It's way
uncomfortable.
more than uncomfortable.
Well, I was sitting there, and then when you get up, that's when it hits you.
That's the hitter.
And you're just like, oh my God, somebody just like slugged me so hard, man, in the side. And so that was my first experience with that. And so I had a surgery done the first time.
Wow, then it's pretty bad.
Yeah, because it wasn't moving. So, but you know, so basically those what the pain is those stones are moving.
Yeah.
That's when it's hurting because it's ripping into the tissue.
What did you do? What's your remedy? What's the home remedy? What do you do for something like that?
Stop
Besides
drinking
water.
beer.
God damn it!
Stop eating French fries. And,
Oh man! Keep going, because I heard it all already. Keep going.
cancel Christmas.
no more soda.
No more soda.
No more soda.
No more soda. Right? So,
So yeah, you
Yeah,
just
I hear
gotta you just gotta drink a lot of water.
take
Drink
care
a
of
lot
yourself.
water. Stay hydrated. Yeah.
Yep. So
hydrated.
the listeners, you know what? Just listen to what we're going through. If you haven't felt it and you eat all that shit and drink all that good stuff, you know, take care of yourselves, man. We're getting older. We got to take care of ourselves. And you know what? That pain ain't no joke.
Nope.
Just
Drink
Worse than
water.
a heartbreak.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, take a heartbreak over a kidney stone any damn
take
day.
a lick and keep on taking on a heartbreak. Man, boy,
ain't
you know,
nothing, huh?
that pain, the way I described it to people was like a ice pick getting shoved into your side and your back, man. And it comes in spurts, right?
Yeah. So I want to ask you though, did you pass it?
Yeah.
Oh, so you were lucky to pass
at
it.
the ER.
Oh, damn.
I went to the ER. That shit, yeah, it hurt,
Yeah,
bro.
me too. All 4 times. So
Somebody give me some water.
So I mean, I don't want to get too graphic. So the first time for them to get it or to break it up, you know, you know how they go in there, right?
No, tell me.
They just stick a tube.
Catheter.
Up your
Yeah,
butt.
yeah, right in there, man.
Right in the button.
No, you know what? Mine wasn't that drastic, but I don't want it to come to that point. You know what I mean? So,
So
you know
drink
what? Like you
water.
said, drinking. I'm gonna keep it to special occasions. You know what I mean? I haven't seen my homies
Like today.
Wow. Yeah, to me, yeah.
Occasion.
It's a special occasion.
All right.
I haven't seen my homies in a bit. And those, you know what I mean? I cherish those times where I see the homeboys and
Cheers to that.
right on, man.
Salud.
Cheers to that.
Tell them what you told
There you
me
go.
earlier. What's it equivalent to?
So doing your homework, right? they said that's equivalent for a man to a woman having a baby. Wow. Did it hurt that bad?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it hurts, but I don't know if I want to go there.
Ah, damn.
You said
that. You know what I'm saying?
I said, come on, man.
So-
Hey, it's all laughing now until it happens to you.
You know, it's harder for us to compare that because the second we knew that we had kidney stones, they give you something for that pain, right?
Yeah, they did.
But when a woman's having a baby, a majority of them really don't take medicine, right?
Yeah, the epidural.
The epidural, yeah.
The epidural.
Some of them do.
Well, that's the
They
medicine.
just
Well, I
slide
just
it
do.
right out.
Well, I just know, like your mom, like she didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think
from
they
what
have-
I heard, the ladies always try to stay away.
You
from
were
the
there.
epidural, but- right?
When your mom,
The shower was there too. I think it would be hard for me to say, yeah, it's comparable to
we
that.
don't know. We don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just saying.
Well,
that's
I
what
was right
read.
there
That's what I
when she
read.
was yelling at me
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
having the baby.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, dang.
You know what?
Why is
Well,
it my fault?
Hey, well, sorry, guys. I didn't make this into a whole segment, but
You're bringing up some crazy memories for me
man,
right
you
now,
know
bro.
what? And if anybody had the similar, put in the comments of what you did afterwards. I want to know, man. Please.
Awa.
Man, water's water. You know, water's for dishes, man. Come on.
You put flavor in your water.
Yeah, I know. I've been drinking a lot of lemon water.
There you go.
Yeah,
That'll work.
And my wife's been telling me that for years. Drink lemon water. Drink lemon water. I'm like,
No wonder you're
water.
glowing.
Water.
Skin's glowing.
Hydrated.
My skin's glowing, you know. No, so
Nice.
You know what? I didn't mean, like I said, I didn't mean to make it into a segment, but I'm glad, you know what I mean, you're sharing that with us because I didn't know you had that. We didn't know.
4 times, man.
4 times.
All of them the same year.
Little homie, you hear that?
Yeah, I
It's
was,
in your
uh,
jeans, bro.
I know.
Even
Literally in your jeans.
I see it, man. I'm with you guys. I need to stick to the water, but
There's water. There's water in that
yeah,
too.
yeah.
And
Exactly.
Jeff, how about you? Well, I'm sorry about all that, you know what I mean?
No, ain't nothing going on but the rent.
There you go.
You know,
The rent's always there every
Working
month.
and paying bills and having fun. Just had a great Easter. We just came off Easter. Our family does Easter big, and it was great, man. So happy Easter to everybody. Happy Easter.
Yeah.
Right
Thank
on,
you.
man. So enough of this Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Rolling Stones guys here. We want to talk to Manic Hispanic and his son here.
Yeah.
Manic, how did it all get started, man? I know you were born in Mesa, right? You're on the east side.
No. I was okay. Yes, you're right. I was born in Mesa, but I grew up in Golden Gate.
Right.
I grew up in Golden Gate. I went to Golden Gate Settlement when it was over there. Now I guess it's around here now, right?
Just the
Golden
community center.
It's just a community
They
center?
call it the Wesley, what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
That's the Golden Gate campus. When we were young, it was called the Golden Gate Community Center.
Oh,
and then
okay.
Wesley came in and bought it, but it's still called the Golden Gate campus.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I grew up at. I went to I didn't go to the public schools there because my mom, wanted us to go to Catholic school. She did. My mom's from Mesa. So
Okay.
she put us in at Sacred Heart. We were
Okay.
at Sacred Heart, and then they shut the school down. But believe it or not, I was altar boy there at Sacred Heart Church.
Did you have anything with it shutting down?
All I know,
He was the whistleblower.
Kidney stone.
A whistleblower. I was going travieso or something.
all I know, because the old Sacred Heart Church, it had that big bell, and that was our job. Me and another altar boy, we had to go up there and
Quasimodo.
pull that rope.
Right on.
So I was always the smallest guy there. I was always the tiniest guy.
Ain't
So
nothing
they
wrong.
loved tying me up and then hitting that rope and letting me fly up in the air. And we got caught.
That's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
So, but it was fun, being an altar boy there at Sacred Heart. So I grew up there. I went to St. Mark's
St. Mark's.
church and school.
Where's that?
That's right there by Celebrity Theater.
That's St. Mark's. Okay,
That's
okay.
yeah, right across.
wow.
Yeah, and that's where I met James's mom.
Okay.
So grade school, then East High. Then I went to East High.
You went to East High.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy that every school you went to is shut down. Every single one. Sacred Heart, St. Mark's, and East High. Right? Yeah.
So, real quick for our listeners, Manic Hispanic.
Yeah.
What's your real name?
James Rivas.
There it
There
is.
you go.
James Rivas.
Mystery solved.
You pulled a Timmy, man. You just pulled a Timmy. They called it out in the beginning, James and James Jr.
No, but he didn't say his last name.
Oh. Okay, I pulled a Timmy.
For the listeners, you know. Anyway, carry on.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
once that happens, you East High, and then from there,
Well, I got married.
You got
to
married.
James and Rochelle's mom, and I was working at Motorola, and we got
Working
married.
man.
A couple kids, but I ended up thinking, you know what? There's something better out there for me than Motorola, and so I started kind of doing a little research. I was doing night school at Phoenix College, and I was just researching everything, and I wanted to do like something with marketing. You know, that was my whole thing. But for Motorola to pay for my schooling, I had to do
Something that's within
pertained to Motorola, right?
Right.
So I was taking like an electronics class, and that was the boringest thing ever. I thought it was boring. No offense to all you people that like electronics.
garbage man, bro. Our engineer could have learned some of that, you know, what was going on earlier.
so I had to take like electronics class, stuff like that. But I did take one class, and it was like a marketing class. And I thought, I don't know, back in the day, see, maybe I'm a lot older than you guys. I think I am. But there was a TV show called Bewitch.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that show?
I remember the reruns anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the husband on the show, he was like a marketing guy. Like he was the one that would come up with slogans.
Yep.
And I always thought that has got to be the best job ever. I wanted to be that guy that just came up with just do it.
Oh yeah,
You
I
know,
got
something
you.
like that. So that was what I wanted to do. But I ended up researching another school. So I went to a broadcasting school back in the day. And then I started making friends in the radio business.
Around what year is this now?
About 86.
Gotcha.
I started my first radio job at well, it was Power 92, but before that it was KKFR, The Fire. And
yeah.
I started just driving their van and doing all these promotional stuff. So that was 87.
Did you have your uncle's Alex, right?
Alex Santamaria, yeah.
So is he kind of an influence to?
He never was.
No?
You know, it's crazy because Alex's mom was my grandma. So Alex was my tío.
Okay.
No, you know what? I didn't really hang out with Alex like that. You know, Alex lived in Maryville. I was out in Golden Gate. So we really didn't really see each other. I didn't really know Alex until I was like in 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom and my grandma, because that was my mom's mom, they just had a little falling out. So I didn't know.
He was in the radio or anything like that?
I didn't know. Well, I knew later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew later when I was in high school. He was already doing stuff like that when we're the same age. So we were both, he was doing like radio stuff in high school, and I was all in love with their mom. So I was kind of doing
Typical
that.
Chicano, though. His deal's the same age as him.
That's right.
That always trips people out. Huh?
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah. So we really didn't work together in radio until, late 80s. We both were working at KZZP at the same time.
Okay.
I remember that station.
Yeah. KZZP, we
Dang,
were
I was
both
a little
working there.
kid.
Can I cut in right there?
Uh-huh.
You guys remember at KZZP when you guys used to have rap battles at night, and then you guys let people call in, and they used to say rap. They used to tell they used to do a rap on online.
Freestyle or rap
This guy
battle?
did a rap one time. What year was it? Like 88, 89, right?
Yeah, about that time.
Yeah.
I
At
remember.
ZZP?
I don't know if it was that stage, but I do remember one of the stations doing something like that too. And then another station probably
That's when-
copied them. So-
Well, that's when Bruce Kelly.
Oh, he was there still?
He was there still. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
remember. Yeah. So
Man,
I
he's
do
got a
remember
good
people
memory.
used to
Bruce Kelly.
Bruce Kelly.
Dang.
Damn.
You know, I'll be honest with you. At that time, you don't really see it as much now in radio because radio's changed a lot. But at that time, people really listened to radio. I mean, that was like their social media back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, it
Radio,
was.
the 80s. So
I'd be right there by the tape deck, ready to hit record when that song came on.
Yeah, they would tell you, "Hey, we got a new song." You know, whatever. You guys always would pay attention, and I was in awe when I went to ZZP then because to see some of the people that were there that I just looked up to, you know, like Jim Morales, Bruce Kelly was there. There was so many guys that have come out of there that have done so well. Well, Jimmy Kimmel came out of there too.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was all types of music back then too.
It was
I mean,
top
not all
40.
types, but top 40.
Yeah, it was a top 40 format. Yeah. So there was a
Good
lot
times,
of names.
man.
Yeah, there was a lot of names that came out of that ZZP era, which you don't see anymore, you know. It's different now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot different now, right?
Yeah, it is. But what was crazy was I only started doing radio just temporary. I kept telling myself this is just gonna be temporary because I want to still move into like
Marketing.
marketing. I wanted to do like write, commercials, write movies, write stuff like that.
Jingles.
I wanted to do all that, imaging for that. I got really into that side, but I just ended up staying on the air and it just blew up for me.
Now, when you started at the radio station, were you immediately on air, or
No.
did you do like promotional gigs and stuff like that? for
Yeah,
them?
I was driving the van.
Wearing a bikini, promotional
yeah, I
stuff.
wore a bikini.
The sign around.
passing out bumpy stickers.
Yeah,
and
we
stuff
were
like that?
always
So you say you're driving a van. What were you doing when you're driving the van? What are you
like
talking
we would
about?
we would go to like functions like remotes. You see radio stations at different promoting different stores and stuff like that.
Businesses, grand openings, whatever
Yeah.
was going on.
I was that guy
Fundraisers.
that would go set it up.
I remember that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you remember Dairy Queen?
Yeah,
KZZP showed up at Dairy Queen. Remember? We won that Fat Boys album.
we wanted
The Fat
L
Boys.
L
Oh,
Cool
really?
J too.
Boom. 43rd.
L Cool J.
43rd
Yeah,
Glendale?
43rd.
Yeah.
Where's that Dairy Queen at?
It used to be on Bethany.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
right
it was
there.
on Bethany.
We walked over there from my Nina's
Hot
house.
dang.
And
Yeah.
KZZP was there.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
it
did.
was, maybe it was you. I
Well, I don't know. The most when I started doing just like promotions, mostly. I don't know if you guys remember that station Y95.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Y95.
Okay, so I went from Power to Y95, and Y95 gave me a chance to be on the radio.
Okay.
But they still had me doing promotions and stuff. So at Y95, I was probably a little bit more out there, more in front of people.
Benny's.
Oh yeah, Alex was
My
the
kidney
guy.
stones.
Bobby McGee's. Then somebody hit you in the head.
Oh, yeah, somebody hit me in the head with a bottle. He went like this. He went to shake my hand. I went to shake his hand, and he gripped my hand and he came over like that with the bottle.
For what? A Haina.
Over a hand.
There it is, right there. I see it.
That's what it usually
That
is
is
in the
not
bar
thoughtful
scene.
going
I
on.
said, you gotta
Dang.
have something better than that. And I just went at him, started bombing him.
Oh man.
Oh,
He didn't knock you out?
hell no. This big old noggin.
Bottle was that? Baby bottle?
You're gonna
Good
take
old-
more than that to knock me out.
Good old days.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. But with radio, for me, I was in the bar scene, so that's where it ended up taking me, doing a lot of the clubs, bars. It was always a lot of fun, but I tried something new like in 90, it was like 90, 91. I met up with this guy who was he worked radio and he was always starting formats, but he was in the Spanish scene. So he had this bright idea, I think it was 90 or 91. He had this bright idea to turn a Tejano station into a bilingual Tejano station. So he brought me to San Antonio, and it was early 90s, I think 90, 91. He brought me to San Antonio, and that's when I really understood what Tejano was all about. I didn't really know too much. I knew who Little Joe was. I knew that, but it was a whole different vibe. Early 90s in San Antonio. Selena was hot. Selena was, booming, all these Tejano artists. So I jumped in and I did it, and it just really blew up my whole name, my whole brand, everything.
So speaking of the name,
I was just gonna ask.
Tim and Willie named you?
Yes. Yeah.
Tim and Willie, the
At Y95.
country, the KNIX
This
guys.
was before that.
That's funny.
before that.
man.
Yeah.
When I think of Tim and Willie, I think of on KNIX.
Country,
Yeah.
Yeah, they before they hopped over to that, Tim Hattrick was doing Top 40.
Okay.
And he was doing the morning show at Y95. And it was when I started at Y95, it was Tim and Glenn Beck. You
Okay.
guys know
I
that?
remember
Yeah,
that name.
yeah.
You know Glenn Beck?
Is it the Glenn Beck? The Glenn Beck?
Yeah, the trumper guy.
The trumper, yeah. Wow.
He was I'm gonna try to be nice. He was an idiot
Probably.
then, and he's an idiot now.
Yeah, he
But-
probably carries that sarcastic, I'm smarter than you type shit
Oh, he
all
was-
the time, right?
Yeah.
Super nerd.
I always said that he was racist because
Yeah,
he
they're all
treated me
racist.
like crap. I was just the van guy. And so they ended up firing him. He left.
Should have hit him with a bottle.
Exactly. So,
Zima bottle.
yeah. So then they brought in Willie, and so they wanted to use me out on the streets even more so in the morning show. So we were doing a contest, giving away. We must have been giving away tickets or money, something big, that they were having people like do a scavenger hunt. So they would give out clues, and then people had to.
That's here in Phoenix?
That's here in Phoenix.
Okay.
This was like 88. It was like 88. And so they were doing like a scavenger hunt. And this lady calls up and she goes, because I wasn't in the van. I was just in my car. So this lady calls up. She goes, I know exactly what you guys are talking about. I know the corner. She goes, she got all the clues, right?
All right.
She goes, but who am I looking for? So Tim and Willie are like, wow, it's a little short Mexican guy. He's crazy. He's funny. And one of them goes, he's a Manic Hispanic.
There it is.
And it just stuck.
Bingo.
And it just stuck right after that. I didn't want it. I wanted to use my name on the air, and I was trying out a name. And one of the names I really wanted was Jimmy Cruz. I wanted Jimmy Cruz on the air. And
Easy there, Johnny Fever.
Johnny Bravo.
WKRP
like Johnny
in
Bravo.
Cincinnati.
So I almost was Jimmy Cruz on the air.
Wow.
But then my program director at the time was like, no, Manic Hispanic, dude. He goes, that's what it's got to be. And everybody in the at the station, from the receptionist to everybody, was like, oh, it's Manic Hispanic. We love it, Manic Hispanic. So
I like
stuck.
it.
I
And it's
dig
stuck,
it.
huh?
Yeah, it stuck. I didn't want, and I hated it. I hated that name. But
For how long? How long did it take for it to grow on you and finally accept it?
when I went to Tucson,
You still hate it.
Yeah. I went to Tucson, I think in 89. And the PD, that's what he was calling me. It was like, hey, man, we want to talk to the Manic Hispanic. And, dude, that sound great. I was their night guy at KRQ. And so that's when I was like, okay, I'll keep it.
You accepted it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad you did that? You glad you did that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because some of the
He's
names,
like, no, man.
Like that, he still hates it. I know.
but what's crazy is I'll hear people's names now, like some of the jocks now, and I'm just like, I cringe because it's like, wow, these are some, like the program director we just got here at the station, Eric.
Yeah.
What was his name on the air?
Scratch my nuts.
The funky one.
Oh. The funky
I thought that was so lame. I was like,
That is lame.
that is lame.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he was the funky one. So
Yeah.
some guys still have some really crazy names, but
He still have that name?
him?
I don't think he uses
Well, he's-
that now.
Well, he's listening to.
Huh?
No, nobody listens to this. Yeah, everybody does.
But yeah, so so that really set me up, was going to San Antonio, doing the Tejano scene, and then actually that's when we did Cheyenne Cattle Company. It was based off of that because I wanted a Tejano club. If you guys went into Cheyenne Cattle,
Yeah.
So we mixed it up, right?
Yeah.
Too little.
With all that, yeah. So we so that really opened my eyes to a lot of the music, because to me it was Texas, California.
Sure.
Oldies, when it came to oldies, when it came to that kind of sound, Chicano sound, I called it, the Chicano flavor. I was able to take, and that's what started my Cruising with the Manic Hispanic show, was I wanted to take that sound, like the Texas Chicanos, the California Chicanos, and mix that music together. You had Sonny Osuna from Texas. You had all the oldies like Brentwood, all that from California.
Sure.
So that's what started all that, was
That's pretty cool.
putting that together. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You did it, man.
You
did.
you brought
That
that
was cool.
you brought that flavor in to Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was great. It was so cool because when I came to Baja Tilly's and I started spinning some of this Tejano stuff, people were coming up going, man, what is that song? What is that? They all knew the old Little Joe stuff, but it was that newer Tejano that was coming out.
Selena and Los
And then playing
Dinos.
for everybody mainstream. That was cool, man.
Yeah.
Right? It's cool.
Yeah. Those cumbias, all those dance songs still live on, man, from when we were spinning them back in the early 90s.
So
Yeah.
Cruising with the Manic Hispanic, did that start here or was that in El Paso?
It started in El Paso. Yeah.
How'd
yeah.
that go over there?
It was great. It was good. The reason it started was because I was working at a a bilingual station at that time. So this was what, 99? And there was a competitor. That guy had been there forever, and he was doing an oldie show. He was like, he was their Art LeBeau. And
I was gonna bring up Art LeBeau right now.
yeah. So he was their guy that was doing that. He was a local cat. And to me, he was okay on the air. He wasn't like the greatest, but he had a hell of a record collection. So he was playing his record collection on the air.
All right.
So the station I worked at, they wanted somebody to go up against him. And
Challenge accepted.
yeah, but I was just like, yeah, find somebody. I thought they were gonna go with somebody local, but nobody would step up, and so I was like, let me do it. I'll do it. So we called it. We didn't call it the Crusing with the Manic Hispanic. It was like the jukebox or something, and we bit right into his ratings.
You remember the first song you played?
I did.
There you
Hey.
go.
I do.
Man? What was
the
it?
town I live in?
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
Yeah, the town I live in.
like that one. I love that one.
Yeah, it's a great song.
How's the scene over there in El Paso compared to bigger markets like Phoenix?
So I compare El Paso. It's a it's a smaller market, but El Paso, and then when I was in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and what's the other town? Española, New Mexico. You guys familiar with that?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got family over there.
Yeah.
Cruises.
They're old school.
El Paso is the Avondale or the Tolleson of the Valley.
More like cashing.
Nah, you know what? Texas, they got their thing going
No
on.
offense to my
They
homies
got
out
their
there.
thing
You know
going
what I
on,
mean?
man.
Just saying.
El Paso was fun. I had fun. You guys had fun there. didn't
It
you?
reminded me of Tucson a little bit.
Yeah.
Except,
yeah,
except
they
you
have a
have,
lot of Tucson
except you
vibes.
have Mexico like
You
right
You know
next
what?
door.
When I go to
The mall's
Tucson,
smaller.
I love Tucson. I like it. It's
Dude.
not a culture right there, man.
It's
It
because
seems
you
like-
have a kid that nobody knows about over there in Tucson.
The best steak I ever had in my life was at the Cattleman Steak Ranch outside of El Paso. I don't know if you guys ever been there.
No.
And I've been to like the Palm, Peter Luger's, and all these big New York steakhouses and stuff.
The question is, were they bumping music in that steakhouse?
They were
What was it?
the good old boys. Never meaning no harm.
Hey, you know what? I love that. I got it on my playlist.
No, but seriously, like best steak I ever had was out there in El Paso, dude.
Yeah.
At a place
They got
called
good
the
meat out
Cattleman
there,
Steak
huh?
Ranch.
Michael, you're always our engineer. He's always out there in El Paso, aren't you?
Yeah, I really dig El Paso.
Yeah.
You're always
Yeah,
over
the
there.
culture's cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who look like us out there, and people who look like us in a lot of decision-making positions also.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did see a lot of, because it was new to me, that whole scene, living out there so close to the border. I did see a lot of, because I worked for, the company was Univision, and so we had the Spanish news station, all that, the TV, and the radio, and so a lot of the people that worked there on the TV side came from Juarez. They would live in Juarez, and they'd come over to work.
Yeah.
But I was just so amazed how there was some hate. They were hating on each other, like, "Oh, you're Chicano." Oh, yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
you know what I mean?
That still exists,
Or the
huh?
Chicanos
It
are like,
still
"Oh,
exists,
they're
yeah.
from Mexico," you know.
Yeah, it still
I was like,
exists.
"Dang," For a while, I thought we was all the same, but I guess not. So I saw that there. In San Antonio, I didn't see that when I was in San Antonio. San Antonio was all about Chicanos there, man. They were all cowboy Chicanos, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would trip because I wouldn't wear a cowboy hat or boots, but so it was different. And then when I got to Houston, when I worked in Houston, that wasn't about Chicanos or Mexicans because Houston had every Latino culture you could imagine was there. Oh, I'd go to clubs. I don't know if you saw it when you went with me, but when we go into clubs, people were throwing up their flags from Panama, throwing up their flags from El Salvador.
Saca tu bandera.
Salvador. Yeah.
It was just crazy. I was like, wow.
El Salvadorians.
So it was a trip. But yeah, so that's where that came about, was the Crusing show started there. And then after that, when I left El Paso, Power, the PD there, Bruce St. James,
Power.
I think
Power 98.
well, now it is, yeah, but it was 92 then.
92 back in the
Yeah.
day, right?
Yeah, but Ruben S. had a show, I think it was called the Lowrider Show, if you remember that.
I think I do.
He did,
Ruben
but
S?
he-
That
Was it
rings the
Ruben S?
bell.
Yeah, Ruben S. started it, but
The
he didn't-
90s?
It was like 2000.
2000s,
Yeah,
yeah.
now
2000.
Power yeah was later. Yeah.
Yeah, he started this lowrider show, but he didn't want to do it because it's work. You got to be there on Sunday. You know, he was doing. I think he was on the mornings or something in Power, right? So he was already doing a full shift. So he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I had just come back from El Paso. I was looking for work, and Bruce St. James brought me on to do that lowrider show.
Sled riding.
So I did that. I liked it. I mean, it was cool. Then Tucson hired me. I went back to Tucson, and then I started the whole Cruising with a Manic Hispanic.
Okay.
Made it official.
So all this time, you're traveling with them city to city?
No.
No.
They, yeah, they would come visit me wherever I was. Yeah, they went to Houston, and
Yeah.
guys never made it out to San Antonio though, huh?
No. Well, we were kind of young. So my pops and mom, they got divorced when we were little. So.
Yeah, we were. It was.
We don't want to
86.
bring that up, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna say, hitting all these clubs and shit. That was,
Oh, dude, I can tell you a
I
story.
went into a few of them.
Yeah, I can tell you
Hey,
a
well,
story.
just to let
Let's
you
hear
guys
these
know,
stories.
Your other brother and sister are coming right now.
The one from Juarez. The one from Juarez.
Her name is Rachel. No.
Name them the same.
But you know what's crazy is that when they both were little and I was working 195 on the weekends that I had them, I always, you know, when you always start like late nights, all that kind of stuff. So I was always doing their late nights, overnights. So I'd drag them with me. Rochelle hated it. She hated going to the radio station, huh? She would put up a fight. Like when I'd pick them up for the weekend, she would always, are we going to the radio station?
I'm going to buy you pizza. Don't worry about it.
On the other hand, he loved it.
I bet.
Yeah, he loved it. He just wanted to be there. I think he liked everything. So I started taking him with me to a lot of things. So when I got to Tucson, this was, you were already what? Like, you were still in grade school or were you
Yeah.
in high school?
Yeah, I was
no,
in
you were
grade
grade
school.
school.
Yeah.
So I had to do a gig at a club. It was called the Outback, I think. It was a nightclub. And
Not
I was
the
like, oh
steakhouse.
man, I gotta take, you know, I got James with me. I'm gonna take him, but I'm gonna sneak him in.
Take
So I snuck him
Paint a
in.
mustache on it.
And I hit him up there at the DJ booth. The DJ was, I think it was Chico.
Oh, yeah.
It was Chico. So I was like, Chico, just keep him right here, man. And he's like, all right, you know. So he just had him right there with him. And
Wow,
He was
cool.
watching everything. But it was fun. I mean,
Yeah, that means
I'm a
you had
good
a
dad.
good education.
Hey, our dads took us to construction sites, bro. You're in the club, brother. Come on, man. Be happy, bro.
I thought it was cool.
My dad drive to the bar and he'll give me like a bag of chips and pop or something while he goes and has a beer in the in the bar, beer or two, and then he comes out. I'll be sitting in the truck still chilling.
in the truck. Did
Yeah.
you crack the window at least?
Yeah, you know what? He'd leave me the keys so I could tune in. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I'd be playing music and shit. So,
That's
Damn.
funny.
Good times.
That's
We had the
crazy.
Silver Fox. We playing the video games in the front, and all the men were in the back, right? Right,
Nice.
George? Yeah.
Nice,
Silver
yeah.
Fox, right here.
So I don't feel
Westdale.
so bad now that I was taking him with
Nah,
me.
he's learning.
that, you know, that's the best education
He
right
soaked
there,
it all
man.
up. He soaked it all up. Yeah.
But you know what's crazy is I always told myself I didn't want to do radio because I saw him move around so much.
Yeah.
So I never really wanted to get into it, but I used to like going. And it's funny now because my kids, they hate going too. I'll tell them, hey, you want to go to the station? No, I don't want to go to the stupid station. It's boring. So they're
So
the
wait,
same
let's
way.
back up. You're on the radio now.
Well, I'm currently in transition from the Bounce. So I was at the Bounce for 14 years.
Okay.
And I recently stopped working there late February. But looks like we're going to get on Power. So I'll be on Power. Actually, with the Owasso radio show, we got that starting April 19th.
Okay.
Nice.
So that's going to be a Sunday show. And then, hopefully I'll pick up some shifts there. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
so we're pretty excited for that.
Right on.
That's cool.
It's very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I was there at Sierra for 14 years, started in promotions just like he did, and just kind of made my way on air and just kind of bounced around. But yeah, this is weird, 14 years and then not being there anymore is kind of trippy because that's really like the only station I've been at. So.
You know, I'm gonna say something real quick.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, not because I'm his dad. This is my son.
say it, brother.
I'm gonna say it right now. I'll be honest with you. This dude, he is bad on the air. He
All right.
gets down. He gets down. I think Sierra made a mistake by cutting him loose because he was the baddest voice they had on the Bounce.
All right.
But I'm not just saying
believe
that
it.
because
No, I get it, man.
I
And,
appreciate that.
No, right on.
and good luck and God bless on your new venture,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, thank you. I think it's for the best. You know, we've got some
Absolutely.
more doors opening up since then. So, so I'm excited for it, man. At first, like I said, I was a little bummed out. 14 years there, you kind of, becomes like family. You're there so long. But besides that, I'm excited to move on and do something new. So
So
Right on,
Manic,
man.
you're still doing the cruising.
Yeah. Cruising
yeah,
with
he's
Manic
still there.
Hispanic.
He's still
So, what if you guys go up against each other?
It probably will.
there. It's kind of set up that way right now.
Jerry,
Yoda and Skywalker. You didn't teach him everything, brother.
Right. No, but now that I think about it, it's kind of going to be set up that way for a bit. So
That'll be a good marketing strategy,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
But I look at it too, like
Since you like marketing.
yeah, there you go, right? But I look at it too, like I'm proud. I'm just so proud
yeah,
of what he's doing.
of course.
I'm so proud of how his voice, everything's just come about. So it makes me happy that to see that and hear that, So that's what I'm all about.
Cool.
for it.
Well, maybe in the future we could see a collab,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Never
We've
know.
always
That'd
thought
be
about
dope.
that. And
Right?
But I'm getting up there in the
Maybe in the
years.
future you can sneak me in.
You could do all you need is your voice, homie. You know that. You could do it from your bed, brother. Right? Your
We
voice.
we always envision just like a whole Sunday where it's like, me, him, you got X-Man, you got, whoever, like a whole Sunday full of all these people that have been in radio for so long. And some stations don't see that vision, but I think a whole Sunday of oldies, that backyard type of music could take a station
Bumping
longer.
everything.
Yeah.
Bumping everything.
You
man.
go from something like an Oasis to the Manic to even like a Midnight Mamacita, so
Ah, dang, that's what I'm talking about.
that's how I've seen it. Just
That'd be dope.
The beeper
That'd be
hookup.
somebody
Remember
holding a
that?
whole Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what's crazy?
Beeper hookup.
Yeah.
The beeper
You know what's
hookup.
crazy is that somebody asked me one time about the Crusing show, and I had always said when I started doing it in El Paso was I had always said, with this music that I'm incorporating reminds me of my house growing up in Golden Gate, because I had sisters, and my oldest sister, she was the only one that had the record player in her room, and we couldn't touch it. We couldn't go in there.
Dang.
But I would hear her music back then, and she was playing Motown. She was playing, the Commodore. She was playing all that. And then my dad was a mariachi. So I'd be hearing him in his room, tuning up his guitar, doing some Vicente. And then there's my mom in the kitchen, listening to Little Joe. So to me, that was the Chicano
It hits
vibe.
home.
Yeah.
Everything.
You had everything, a little bit of everything
Yeah.
in one household. That's
I want to add. I think you're onto something with that format because that's kind of how you start your Sundays off.
Yeah.
Like in the morning, right? You're loosely you get
After
ready,
church,
you're going to
after church.
right? You're going to breakfast, and you start off with some of those down like Linda Ronstadt, Mi Canciones and all that kind of stuff, and then now it's coming to noon. You're starting to get ready, like, hey, we're going to barbecue or what's going on. It's a little different vibe,
Exactly.
different music, and then by 4:00. You're already into something else,
yeah.
and it's a totally different.
That's when the buzz kicks in around
Yeah.
4 o'clock and the music takes a shift.
Yeah, so that would be cool, like a whole,
Yeah.
A whole
like you
day,
said,
yeah.
whole day of oldies, and it just
Yeah.
gradually takes you along the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
if you play music on Saturday morning, you know what that means? Your ass is cleaning.
Yeah, that's a cleaning music right
Yeah.
there, man. Got to do some of that. But yeah, so that's what I always envisioned the Crusing show should have been,
right.
like that. So every once in a while, I've had a couple of different program directors, as long as we've been over there at Sierra. Like I'll throw in a Freddie Fender on my Crusing show. And then one PD was like, oh, we don't do Spanish here. Don't play any Spanish,
Hit him with the bottle.
Yep.
That's it.
I have another quick question, and I'm sorry to keep jumping in, but do you find that it's program directors that are not familiar with the culture?
Yeah.
They're relocating, maybe
Yeah.
East Coast, different vibe. They come in.
You hit it right on the nail. They come from out of town.
Right.
So I think Phoenix is a little different when you come from, California, whatever, it's a different vibe. So a lot of these cats come from all over, and they don't have that, they don't have any idea of what, what people out here listen to or what they grew up on. And they kind of try to bring what they have in the Bay. Or,
Right.
And it, just doesn't work. Or they
Get hyphy.
And
Yeah.
then I don't want to add, but as you transition, maybe you become a program director and you can set that up.
Well, I tried the program director vibe, and I you know what? My whole thing is I have a hard time, being the boss to tell somebody, do this, do that, or you gotta reprimand somebody or whatever. That's not my thing, man. I just want to do my show and my thing. But I tried that.
Yeah.
Right now I'm the production manager for the station. So I handle all the commercials. I do all that. Even that right there, I'll vent to my daughter about some of the salespeople. I'm gonna say it right now. Some of you salespeople really drive me crazy. You know? So even that drives, you know, I'm like, man, what am I even doing this for? You know, I don't have time to be arguing with this person. You know,
It's tough telling a grown ass adult what to do.
It's babysitting adults sometimes, dude.
That's tough.
I hate that shit.
So that's why it'd be hard for me to try to
I gotta
say.
babysit these vatos sometimes.
Yeah, he does.
He does.
But then 4 o'clock hits, and then they gotta babysit me.
All right.
We're gonna take a quick break,
Yeah.
but before we take the break, what's your radio name?
So I go by J. Rivas Jr.
J. Rivas Jr.
Yeah.
Okay, right
yeah.
on.
So I kept my name, my legal name,
Government name.
the government name.
You want to go to break?
Yeah, we're going to break.
I guess we're going to break.
All right.
All right, let's take a quick break.
I would do it on the avenue.
What are we end up at? I know I snapped the fingers, pop, tap. We're talking about
Junior.
Yeah, we're talking
Junior.
his radio name
Yeah.
and where that started. Where basically you just
Just use the government name, like you said.
yeah.
But yeah,
Did you ever think of trying to do a crazy radio name?
I never did.
How
but
about Jimmy?
How
Cruz?
about mini Manic Hispanic?
there was people that were calling me that for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, or Baby Manic.
Oh, baby.
No, mini Manic. Mini Manic.
I think I only had one PD that thought like James Rivas Jr. was too long. So he was just like, just go by J. Rivas, J. Rivas Jr.
Okay.
Well, that sounds cool though.
Yeah.
Trying to
That was
cut our
Fred.
name
I
in
think that
half.
was Fred. That was Fred right there. But yeah, because I never thought about it,
I even
and,
told him to use Jimmy Cruz. He didn't want to use it.
Jimmy Cruz.
Jimmy Cruz.
Cruise.
I'm
That's
gonna
right,
use
yeah.
that. Christopher Cruz. I like that, man. Yeah.
it has a ring to it.
It's better than you should have trademarked it.
Let me ask these guys something real
Better
quick.
than Christopher Cole.
Okay, what would your radio name be? Because you got a face for radio, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know. I never thought about
Well,
it.
what was your rapper's name?
I changed it like 2 or 3 times. My
dang.
original name was The Boy Wonder,
Okay.
and then The Boy Wonder is who I am. I
thought it was Scribble.
Political Mexican. Hey, and then I was the Scribble Kid.
The Scribble Kid?
The Scribble Kid, because somebody one time labeled me, man, you scribble all your rhymes all the time, and I go, Scribble Kid. So it stuck. And then my last name was the Saga, and I stole that from Mr. Phoenix.
Okay.
I stole the Saga from Mr. Phoenix. One time he said something about the Saga, and I go, hey man, I like that. So I was like, oh yeah, I call myself the Saga because the Saga always continues.
Yeah, that's a good name though. Saga was a good name.
So
You know what? Now that I think about it, a name.
what would yours be?
I don't know. I was just thinking.
Henry
like,
Hill?
Henry Hill. A name is something that's given to you. You're baptized with the name. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna start calling myself this, what I mean, or whatever.
That's how I always looked at it. It's like I felt like it had to be given to you, or
Mini Manic.
Well, he had a
Don't put
nickname
O at the
growing
end of
up.
Manic.
What was your nickname growing up?
man. I thought that he gave us all nicknames, but of course I look like a little white kid, so he would call me Caspy. Because I look like Casper.
Well, good credit.
Yeah.
Got that good credit.
But now, he every grandkid that was born, he just named them something.
Yeah.
I thought they would always do that. Yeah.
Rashad is a nickname.
She's
too.
Chuki.
Chuki?
Chuki.
That came from a song.
Yeah, my nana used to bounce her on her knee and she would dance to Chuki Chuki Chuki.
Yeah, whatever that song was. But
Yeah,
then,
every Latino family
Yeah,
has that
something.
little,
yeah, they have a little dankity dankity.
chingy dingy.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And then when she was little, she would go up there and tell her to do the Chucky song. So we were like, oh, that's so cute. Call
Put
her
you on her
Chucky.
lap and like a little horse or something, singing that song.
Yeah.
So yeah,
What
that
about
was
you, Chris?
Radio? Lil
Chris.
Radio? It's Lil Chris.
Little Chris, there it
Chris,
is.
that was given to
classic.
me way
Michael?
back in the day.
But if you say it real fast, it sounds like Ludacris, huh?
Well, yeah, you know what? We had a homegirl. Her daughter, she was maybe 13, 14. They would call me Little Chris all the time. And about a month later, she goes, oh, I thought they were calling you Ludacris the whole time.
Because you were Little Chris.
That's
Luda. Michael,
I don't never thought
Let's,
about
let's
it.
think of a name for
It
him.
would have to run along the lines. of,
Maradona.
Magic Mike.
Invincible. Last Dance with Magic Mike. Chueco.
That's hilarious. That's good. But yeah, you know what? Going off of what James was saying is that, you know, hopefully I would like for us to work back together again like that, you know, on Sundays doing the shows. That'd be kind of cool, you know. So we're trying to come up with other ways, you know. We can
Yeah.
stay.
Now
awesome.
it's a little easier to set up something. You know, you don't need the radio station necessarily anymore. So you can always do a website or, you know, online radio station.
Or,
Yeah, there's so many.
or a podcast in the
Podcast.
garage.
Yeah.
Just be bumping.
What's
Yeah.
happening?
There's always now there's more, you know, more ways to go about it. So we're not as limited. So
Yeah.
So you must have seen things change drastically from when you started to now, right?
Oh, yeah.
How music and radio is
You know
out
what's
there.
crazy? So I started late 80s, right? And I think it was 89. Yeah, it might have been 89. We were going to get into 90. And a lot of people at the station were freaking out because back then, and I don't know if you guys remember, but back then, you know, somebody had to physically push the buttons in the station.
Yeah.
You know, push the commercial button, push the music button, you know, all that. You had to be somebody in there pushing it. It wasn't automated. So then they came out with, there was talk in the radio biz that these computers are coming out and they're going to be, everything's
Taking
going to be
over.
automated.
Skynet.
So everybody started freaking out. They're like, we're out of jobs now. We're going to be, this is going to be 90. Everybody was like, we're done. We're done. They don't need us anymore.
Wow.
That was 90. So we're still here, but yeah, a lot has still changed.
But now AI's here, and
That's even crazier. That I still haven't even really grasped all that.
We'll get
you know.
around it. The Terminator did, so we'll get around it.
John Connor got
Connor
around.
got
You know,
around.
I refuse. That kind of going back to my issues with the salespeople because I do all the production. So they'll send me a commercial. They're like, "Here you go. You know, play this commercial," and I'll listen to it, and I'm like, "Is this AI?" They're like, "Yes, we're doing AI," and I'm like, "It sounds fake," and it sounds to me
Impersonal.
yeah, to me, I feel like, hey, if you're a throwback station, your commercials, your imaging needs to sound like a throwback.
It has to be organic.
Yeah.
yeah.
King of beepers, huh?
JJ, the
I think
king of
JJ.
people. I'm
But-
the owner. I'm JJ.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know what you
man.
mean, man. If it's throwback, let's throw back.
Make it sound like that,
Yeah.
you know? So I'm sure, well, now what they're doing, right, is they're taking actual DJs' voices and they're putting it, you know, using them as for AI and stuff. So it's getting that flavor, you know? But yeah,
Mas música.
I'm gonna throw a question out there. It's kind of, I don't know, man. Let's see if you can answer. How hard is it to start a radio station? Is it difficult? I mean, I know it's money, and I know it's
It's money. It's like, so if you're talking about like a legit radio station, what it is that cost is the tower.
yeah,
So to have that tower,
the antenna.
either-
Yeah.
You
the
need to be
antenna.
Jewish, is what you need to be
Right,
if you want
right.
to start a radio station.
But like, for example, like the towers on South Mountain, I don't think they build anymore, right? So if you wanted to have your tower right there with, you know, crispy signal, you would have to buy somebody else's
Tower.
Signal,
and
yeah.
their signal, and it could be in the millions, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it, Michael, we need to build a tower right here with this empty space
But like
behind the
for like
garage.
the Sierra H, I think they're in Cordis Lakes,
That one of
Arizona.
them. They have a few
Couple
frequencies.
and that's why the signal is the way it is, because I think a FM signal travels straight across.
It'd be cool if you guys just had a whole radio station
Man,
all day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
every
Oh,
day
yeah.
to yourselves, man.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
You dope.
Because you guys know what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I,
what-
I think you can, no, if you just do it online radio.
You could do an online one. You could create an app now. That's what I was saying. Like now it's a little easier just to
Right.
kind of, you know, get one going,
Yeah.
you know.
You know, so the internet to me has just been, it's like a sea of all kinds of crap. You know what I mean? So yeah,
polluted.
there's really probably, I'm sure there's really some good podcasts out there, but there's so many. How do you decide? So is it all go back to marketing, you know, to let people know
Yeah.
you're here? So there's a lot of people that probably start up, you know, these little internet radio stations, but they're not getting the word out.
Yeah, but I think you guys have the following.
Yeah, you guys definitely have that.
that I think would be successful.
I always said like he could set something up, run with it, and people will follow. Like
Yeah.
he's
I
been doing
think
it so
so.
long. He has that
Well,
has that niche. So
yeah, I mean, it's well, this is why I introduced you to my manager. She's the smart one, so she's the one that's been helping me trying to put this all together. So, but like I said before, it's just like I was just doing my radio thing, and I wasn't thinking about the future. I wasn't thinking about a lot of that stuff.
and I feel like with the Crusing show, you could take that, do that anywhere.
Yeah.
You have your name trademarked and all that.
Cruising with a Manic
Cruising,
Hispanic,
man.
Manic Hispanic, yeah.
I love that segment.
Have you ever tried syndication? Have they come to you with syndication?
No, the closest I'm syndicated because I'm in Tucson too right now. So Tucson and Phoenix, I'm here.
Okay.
But I just, again, that part wasn't my bag. I wasn't the business type. I wasn't that. And I have friends that did, like R-Dub, those guys, X-Man. They did the whole syndication thing, but they had help from the companies they were working for. I just didn't pursue it because I was told, for a few years now, get it out there. So now we're pursuing it. But a lot of those, do you know the guy? His name's Rico, the one that does Carmen calls.
Oh yeah,
You know that dude?
So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but I know what you're talking about.
So
Yeah,
he-
Carmen calls.
Yeah. So I sat down with him about 2 years ago, and he moved here to the Valley, and he works for Skyview, which is a syndication. And he told me, he says, you know what? I like your show. I love your Sunday show. He goes, but for you to get on our syndication, you need at least 4 or 5 other cities. Bring that to the table, then we'll talk. But again, I'm not the business kind of guy, so I brought in my manager.
The A team.
Yeah.
Manic,
Yeah.
so I love your segment and all that. I do miss the Art LeBeau.
Yeah.
I miss it. How do you feel about him? And was he any inspiration, or did you not like him, or what? Yeah, here we go.
Jerry.
So here's the deal. Yeah. Here's the deal with Art. I didn't know too much about Art, until I had moved to Tucson to start La Caliente. It was a Hot 98 radio station down there. It was a bilingual station, and we had a guy doing the oldies there, Chester Catalan. Another guy that reminded me of the guy from El Paso, where he wasn't great on the air, but he had a huge ass record collection,
Yeah.
And so Chester was always giving us problems. There was always something with Chester. So somebody hit me up. It was another radio guy in LA, and he calls me up and he was like, hey man, he goes, you should carry Art LeBeau. So I was like, who is this cat? I've heard the name. I saw him on the little CDs, those oldies but goodies
Yeah.
CDs. I was like, is this guy for real? I just thought he was a character, right? And he was like, no, man, this guy's show, wherever you put him on, he does really well. So we put him on in Tucson. I got a chance to meet him. Well, he ends up, like 2 years later, he ends up buying the radio station that I was at.
Art LeBeau.
Art LeBeau bought the radio station, and Art LeBeau came in, and he's like, you've been doing some great stuff here, but I'm taking over, and I'm only running my show here. So it was a cool show, but he was just kind of
Cocky about
a
it.
weird cat in person. I don't want to get too.
Yeah, I get it.
So wait a minute. This Chester guy though that was there. I hate to know what his what his nickname was. Chester. I'm just kidding.
He was called a few things. It rhymed with Chester. No,
dang.
Nestor?
he wasn't like that. I don't know the cat like that. I don't know. He just had a name that rhymed with something like that.
So it sounds like Art LeBeau basically was buying out his competition.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
That's what he did. I have to give it up for him, man. He was a businessman all the way. He bought the station in Tucson for $1 million, and then he bought a Spanish station. So everything that he owned that he bought, it cost him like $1.3 million, $1.3 million or something like that. Held on to that property for 10 years, sold it for $15 million.
I bet.
So I got to give it up to him.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. He was a good businessman.
And that dude's been involved with not just like oldie style music. He's been involved with a lot of other type of music back in California.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Didn't he buy some of those catalogs?
Yeah, so he bought a lot of music from different people, and so I became friends with Brentwood. So him and I, got to talking, and Brentwood had always told me that he lost a lot of respect for Art because Art bought his music catalog.
Yeah.
Brentwood at that time was in some financial issues. He felt Art took advantage and bought it for like $1,000.
Same old story in the music industry, man.
And never. The promise was that Art would sell it back. He never did. So Brentwood lost out.
You know what's funny is I was on an international flight recently, and they had the because you have your own TV and stuff, you can tune into music and watch movies or whatever. And so I was like, I got tired of watching movies, so I tuned into some music so I could try and fall asleep. And they had the Brentwood's
The greatest hits.
The greatest hits, the 18 greatest hits or something like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
they
best.
had that album on there. So I was over there oogum boogum on my flight.
You could fall asleep. You could fall asleep.
I was toe tapping. I said I would have another bottle of wine.
And it was an international flight, not a domestic.
He was
flight.
on another mission. He was going over there for a
was on the
whole different
Artemis.
reason. So he was getting in the mood. He was getting in the mood.
Yep, there you
That's
go.
what he was doing.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, Jeffrey. Hey, but
Yeah.
Yeah, Brentwood's cool. That's
Yeah, Brentwood's a great guy, man. Brentwood was.
But I was surprised to see that Brentwood's on the flight.
Yeah.
Wow. So because you're only limited to so much music on the
Flight.
flight.
American
And-
Airlines.
American Airlines.
Yeah.
And yeah, they had that album on there, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool because that represents us, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, as Latinos and stuff, or Southwest region, Chicanos.
Yeah.
Brentwood's is a
Do you see that a lot? And I meant to ask you guys this, both of you. The Latino Chicano culture, we don't have a lot of dudes that make this kind of the music that we grew up on. Not a lot. We do have a lot, but not a shit ton. Like you have Brentwood, you have all these guys who are R&B guys, soul, even hip hop. Going back to hip hop, I've heard this from a bunch of hip hop guys nowadays. The Chicano, Mexican, Latino culture is the one keeping this music alive. We're the ones going to the concerts. We're the
Buying
ones
the
still
albums.
buying the albums.
Or buying
You guys see that a lot
whatever the-
still?
Oh yeah. You know what's kind of to touch on that? I had several program directors kind of going back to what we were saying. Program directors don't know this market, that type of stuff. One of the arguments I had with a couple program directors about my show was they were like, they were saying the audience you're going after is getting older. They're aging out. They call it. They're aging out. And my whole argument was, you're not going to the car shows. You're not going to the events at at the parks, at the the kickbacks, all that stuff. You're not going there because if you did, you would see that their families are appreciating
passing
that
it
music.
on, passing on
Now, those younger Chicanos that we're talking about may not be their number one song to go to,
Right.
but it's part of their life, though. You know what's crazy? I have so many stories of almost with the same thing that I ran into for so long doing radio, because I was the guy out on the street. I was the one that they send out. And I'll give you some different examples of the people running the station. When I was in Tucson, I was working at KRQ. Our program director, half the staff was from Chicago, and they were working in Tucson. So they're like, here, take the van out. It's the Saturday night party patrol. You take it to wherever you think, you're going to be around a lot of people. Exposure. So it was me and another cat that was doing the party patrol. So back then in Tucson, I said, let's go down South 6. That was their street to cruise on. So the cat I was with, he was like, dude, I've never been this far south. He goes, where are we going? So we were cruising up and down. People were honking. They were like loving it. One cat's like, dude, follow us. We're going to a house party. So I'm like, let's go. So we're rolling up the house party. The cat I was with from Chicago, he was like, dude, I'm not getting down. He goes, they're probably going to, beat us up. They're gonna, mug us. I'm like, bro, they're just excited that we've never been down here in this part of the town.
Yeah.
They're excited, man. Let's have fun. So, people, they were like, you want to eat? You guys want this, that? But that was their mentality that, oh, no, we can't go down there, Yeah. And I ran into that same when I came up here and we were doing stuff up here. Just recently, when we put together with Oasa, when we were doing the stuff with Oasa, we're explaining what it is to the people in charge, and they're like, "Oh no, we shouldn't be there," stuff like that. They were so afraid, and it's like, dude, these people are just they're hungry for us to show them love.
And my thing is how can you run a station that caters to that, and you can't even go out there and check it out or hang out or see what it's about. I feel like the GM there still hasn't even gone to an event that is something like that, and he's was
scared.
Scared.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys should have brought him over here, man.
It should.
So, what do you guys got going on? What's the future for you guys?
Well, James was talking about what he's been working on with their new project and stuff at Power.
Yeah, so we got the show starting on 4/19, the Oasa thing, and that's another thing. You go to one of those events, and there's younger people out there that their parents were bumping, the oldies. So I think that's a perfect example of how that music kind of crosses the generations. But yeah, I'm doing the Oasa thing. I've been hosting that. I've known Bobby Anthony since 2005. He used to be like an artist, and I used to host a lot of clubs. Before I started the radio station, I was hosting a lot of the clubs that my pops was at, and you guys brought up AL3. He was big with that. They used to do the Matador and Coach and Willie's, and I started hosting at that time. I used to just go take pictures for them, and never thought about being on the mic. And they kind of pushed
Coach
me to
and
it.
Willie's.
Yeah. So we used to do that. Coach and Willie's, Stoudemire's, Matador. And
You're making me have flashbacks.
Yeah.
My phone's blowing up.
Beeper.
So, but yeah, I feel like now it's even bigger than what it is. You got a lot of these artists coming out that are doing these soldies, where before, it was always a lot of the old school stuff. You wouldn't get a lot of new artists that were making oldie sounds,
Yeah, I like that.
And I feel like now it's bigger than ever. I don't know if you guys have been out to the Oasa events, but we're gonna try to capture that same vibe and put that on the radio. So we'll have Mr. Phoenix DJing.
We know that guy.
Yeah. So yeah, they'll be mixing live while we're just kind of cracking those breaks, and we got a few segments lined up. The food spots, things like that. But we want to keep that same vibe that we have at Oasa, and translate that onto the radio.
Nice.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Right on. And let me ask the boss, what's on next for the pops over here?
Well, I think the goal is to get into more cities, so we're going to start.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
And then maybe a concert series.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because with these oldies artists, because one of the things that I had a privilege to do was I was on the tour 2025 with Lowrider Magazine this past year, and while I was on that tour, I got a chance to meet a guy by the name of Carlos Guillen, and Carlos has La Cima Music. Are you familiar with that?
No. I don't.
Partnered
I'm
with
not.
Danny Trejo Music.
All right. Okay.
So,
We know that name.
Carlos produces and writes a lot of songs that a lot of these artists are covering, but they're doing it as soldies. And he's got, I don't know how many artists on that little group, La Cima.
Okay.
And Danny Trejo. And he's got Pepe Marquez, Mariah.
All right.
Wow. Cota the Barber. Do you guys know that cat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool cats. So I had an opportunity to work with them. And so now what we're talking about with the show, I'm going to be getting involved with a lot of them.
Okay.
That's
All right.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Good job, Mia.
And if there's anything that we can do to help, let us know.
Likewise,
I'm
bro.
flexible. I can do the splits.
You brought it
How
back.
I ain't got no
flexible are
kids.
you?
I ain't married.
You can carry your luggage,
I
whatever.
can carry your luggage.
He's Van Damme flexible.
Security.
Ankles to your elbows.
I do want to touch real quick, talking about that lowrider tour we were on in 2025. There's a cat that's from here, from the Valley, from Mesa, Richard Ochoa. Do you know him? He's the one that he was with Society Car Club. He put on the Mesa shows back in the day, those lowrider Mesa shows.
remember those.
You remember
I do know
those?
these. I do.
Oh man, those were off the hook. So Richard wrote all the rules for the judges when they judged cars for the lowrider shows. Things are changing a lot, even in the lowrider scene too now. I don't know how much you guys know. Everybody's throwing a show nowadays.
Yeah.
So, with that being said,
We just threw one.
you guys did.
Well, the Golden Gate one was our little
But yeah,
George.
so they're throwing these big shows, and now the judging has really changed a lot because each show's got different judges. It's not Lowrider
It's not
Magazine.
structured.
Yeah. So I think it's going to change the scene a lot when it comes to the car shows because the fact that people, I mean, you work hard on your ride, you spend a lot of money on your ride, you want to take it to a show. Yeah, you want everybody to see.
And
it. You want to win something too, right?
Yeah.
So-
And how do you feel? How do you feel about that? Because one might not be able to win something at this show, but one might be that same person might be able to win something at this other show.
Right.
What
This people are showing favoritism to their friends or whatever. So it's gonna be tough. The whole lowrider shows and all that scene I see is changing, but I still want to make sure that I can still bring that souldy music.
Yeah.
If it's not lowrider shows, then it's concerts we're putting on.
Yeah.
That's the music that we like.
Yeah.
Lowriders like, yeah.
Yeah, and that
Dig
was
it,
the
man.
other stigma that I would argue with radio people is that low riding, they're not all bad dudes. Nobody's, they're not bad people.
Yeah, it's not gangbang.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a stereotype.
yeah. There was a lot of stereotyping that we always had to put up with in the radio scene. It was crazy.
OG.
Yeah.
Favorite song, favorite album, all time.
Wow, there's so many.
No,
but
you gotta
I'll tell
pick
you
one.
what though, in high school, a cat in high school turned me on to the Ohio Players.
Oh.
So not only because the covers were very provocative.
Holla.
Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Yes. So my mom yelled at me one time because she walked
bet.
in my room and I was I had the album. And she walked in and she was just like,
Andale.
"What the heck is this?" She's like, "This is what you spend your money on, this garbage."
Ayúdame,
Yeah,
Diosito.
that was the Two Live Crew album back in the day.
For you, yeah. My mom did, So my favorite album was Ohio Players that had "Sweet Sticky Thing" on it.
There you go.
It had,
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah,
Bumping.
yeah. So that was
Good
my
album.
go-to.
Good album.
Yeah.
Junior.
For me, I grew up a lot on the West Coast though. So for me, growing up, Doggy Food was one of the
Nice.
best albums.
It's up there for me too.
Yeah, and then so is Doggy Style with Snoop.
Oh,
That was a great one for me.
Yep.
I always was a big fan of Pac. So all the Pac albums of Machiavelli's, all
West
that.
Coast.
That's what I grew up on.
And you know
Too
what?
Short.
When you guys get that segment, mix those two.
Yeah.
Be dope.
That'd be
Exactly.
awesome.
Because I
dude.
do it in my car.
Yeah.
I'll bump
That's
this.
your playlist.
I'll bump Snoop, and then I go back to Ohio Players.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to Brandwood. Then I'll get some, you know what I mean? Biggie
Yeah.
in there. and
Yep.
just back and
You-
forth,
you-
man.
You know what's cool is I'm a 49er fan, right? So whatever. These are Cowboy fans. Get out.
Oh man,
So anyway, so when I'm out there,
we're
It's a Steeler fan.
Steelers,
fan.
chale con queso. Let's get out of cut.
You're like, erase this.
So when I go out there to the Bay Area, and in between to the games, and there's timeouts, and there's in between plays and shit, dude, they bump all the Bay Area.
Oh yeah,
stuff, dude,
I would
and
imagine.
it's the energy is awesome.
yeah.
I go to SoFi, LA, right? For Niners against LA. We call it SoFi. We call it Levi South because
Right.
Niners take over.
Yeah.
Dude, same thing, but it's all LA music. You playing DJ
Snoop.
Quick, Snoop,
Yeah.
Ice
Dog
Cube.
Pound. And then they're also throwing in like Mana and shit like that, dude. So it's pretty cool that they mix those two
Genres.
things,
Yeah.
those genres,
Yeah.
and so that's what kind of remind me of what we're talking about. It's
What's
like,
your favorite song?
of what?
Of
DJ Quick
music.
Tonight, dude.
Oh, that's a great song,
If
yeah.
my life was a soundtrack, that would be track number one, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Straight up.
that's cool. That's a great
Quick's,
song.
Quick's one of my favorite artists of all time.
Quick.
I always like DJ Quick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
quick.
DJ
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
he
people
don't
can't
get a lot
say
of
their
credit for
favorite
that.
song of all time. That's my favorite song of all time.
Which one?
DJ Quick,
Oh,
Tonight.
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 Is that
Oh,
what,
yeah.
if you were a boxer, is that what you would come into?
Nah, you know what? Mossberg, Green King. That's what I would come out to.
You don't like butt naked?
or you know which one? Spice One, Born to Die. That's that because I get crazy about
Spice One.
that shit.
How about you, OG? Well, if you're a boxer, what song would you come into?
Eye of the Tiger, dog. I'm old school.
I like it.
Cut me, man,
I
cut me.
remember watching Rocky back in the day. We were little kids, and then walking down the aisle. You know what I mean? You're hearing that in your head. Yeah, it was dope shit.
Yeah.
How about you, Junior?
I probably have to come out to some Pac.
Some Pac?
Hit 'em
Maybe
up.
some, hit 'em up, or Ambitions of a Ride, or something like that.
That song to come out to.
So we love music. That's what everybody has in common, right? You can't. I don't think there's anybody out there that don't like music. You know what I mean?
Right,
You
right.
could think, you know what I mean? This hermit, but hey, that hermit likes something. You know what I mean?
Something.
Yeah.
And
Wants to hear
the
something.
power of music is, and kind of going back to like what we were talking about earlier, like kids, you're listening to stuff that your dad, listened to. Music will take you to that exact moment in time where you hear this, like the intro of a song,
Like a time
and
machine.
it takes you right there to whatever, first love, first kiss, first this, first that. You got beat up, you got hit over here with a bottle.
It's the closest thing we have to a time machine, you know?
That's
So,
exactly what it is.
Universal.
Yeah.
It is.
Because,
And that's
it
what's
does
beautiful about music. And thank you for bringing all that
Yeah. Well,
to,
thank you.
to every Sunday.
Thank you guys for letting us come out. What's happening?
No, you don't have to thank. You know what? Hey, like I brought up Art LeBeau, he's an icon, but you know what? You are too. You're an icon.
Ah, well,
we
thank
love
you,
you.
bro.
In our community,
We bump
you're
it.
a household name. Believe me.
Oh,
You-
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You hear Manic Hispanic, and everybody knows who.
Yeah.
You know.
I always get whenever they first meet me, you thought you were taller, bro.
Hey, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you this. No, I was going to ask you. Like, so outside of the Chicano culture, like, do negros or white people or anybody else that like come up to you and be like, "Hey, what's up?" That they dig your show and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You get,
Yeah, I do.
a different nationalities, I guess.
Yeah.
Give you
The
props.
African American community, actually, I'm doing an event with a group that's African American group that's putting on this dance. So I'm their host.
Hell yeah.
You know,
Cool.
yeah,
Right on.
So I do, and a lot of reasons for that too is because I play a lot of the oldies and stuff, and people that have moved here from Philadelphia, Chicago, all that. That's been bringing back a lot of memories for them because they always share that with me on the phone.
That's
They're
awesome.
Hell yeah.
They're like, growing up in Philly, man, play the OJs, play this and that, so it's pretty cool to hear that.
That's awesome, man.
Take that Ohio Players album with you to the event.
Oh yeah,
Make you a T-shirt of the Ohio Players.
dude, those album covers were crazy. man.
Yeah, they were. Hey, well, guys, hey, man, thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
doing this. We'd like to thank Nestor bringing them through, coming
out to
through. with them.
Nestor.
Yeah,
Nestor.
Shouts out to
Family
Nestor.
right there.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Other than that, hey, man, thank you, guys. Hey,
Thank you.
thank you, James. Thank you, Manic. Hey, thank you very much coming
you.
through. What you got?
Time out.
All right, he's doing one time out.
Let's you guys got any plugs? Anything you guys want to throw out there?
Well,
Hair plugs?
Hair plugs, birthday shout outs, whatever. Like,
Oh, yeah.
You guys
I
got
do.
anything events
I do.
coming up that you guys want to
I do. Also, I didn't cover this on the podcast, but I also do stand-up comedy. So April 26th, Stir Crazy Comedy Club at Westgate is my comedy show. Starts at 6 p.m. I got a lot of funny local comedians there. And it's always the last Sunday of the month.
Do you get up there and
I do 10 minutes.
woo?
I just
Damn.
Wait a minute, I gotta slow it down. Then. We still got it. Give me a joke.
I gave you one already, when I say, hey, it's Manic Hispanic, how many people listen? Woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, oh, I saw that look on your face, man. I sound taller on the air, don't I? And then I got another one. My other joke is, I'm doing all my jokes here right now.
No.
Another one I do is I talk about, I had lost all this weight, right? I said, but it still makes me mad because when I hear myself on the air, I still sound fat.
Or you could do this. Be like, I lost it. You could do this. You could crowd participate. You could be like, yeah, I lost all this weight. You found it. Point out to a fat motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Tomato throwing at you.
Yeah, but tell all your
Anyway.
friends and family come to my comedy show. It's a lot of fun.
26. All right, cool.
April
That's a
26.
good plug right
It
there.
was the
man.
last
That's what we're
Sunday of
talking
every
about.
month.
It's always the last
Sunday of every month. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Westgate, huh?
And see, that's
Westgate.
cool because that's something I didn't know
I
about.
didn't know about
And I
that,
love
OG.
comedy.
I know.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
hosting an Owasso event?
Yeah, so I've been hosting the Owasso events. We got a lot
And
coming
Owasso
up
means what?
on a Sunday afternoon.
All right.
Yep. So actually teamed up with Live Nation through the Van Buren. So now we're going like on a little mini tour. So it's going to be Tucson, May 3rd. May 17th, we're going to be in Albuquerque.
Nice.
And then we'll be back here May 24th,
Good cities, right?
Memorial Weekend. So it's starting to pick up, starting to grow. We've been kind of focusing on that. Of course, I still want to do the radio thing, so we're going to get that going 4/19. So tune in 2 to 6. It's the Owasso Radio Show, and then so
Go from
just
there.
kind of keep it going.
Right on.
Anything else, Jeffrey?
Nope.
You sure?
I think I'm.
All right, man.
You
Hey,
guys
certain.
learn a lot. You guys learn a lot.
I think I'm certain.
No, but thank you guys, and like you said, if you ever need anything, we're always here for you too. So
Hey.
Sneak me
Hey.
in to the comedy show.
Again, hey, you guys, thank you very
you.
much for coming through. Like I said, man, you're a household name in our community. I know that. So thank you for coming through and doing this. It is a little podcast that we do here. It's great. Hey, Michael, our engineer, thank you very much. Lil Chris, thank you for sitting in for Timmy 2 times sucker. Thank you, Lil Chris.
Who's a Steeler fan?
Yeah,
By
he's
the
a
way.
Steeler fan.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's why we sent him away, because he's still a
Yeah,
fan.
there's been too many up in here.
I
Jeff-
love the Steeler colors you guys.
So, yeah, you know what?
We're gonna change it now.
When I designed it. Son-in-law named Jeff.
Prego.
Hey, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and follow us. I'm George. This SeunevA Lifestyles presents What's Happening. Let's go.
What's happening?
This is how we do it on the avenue.